Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Wherever you are, whatever you're feeling, I am there with you, energy for energy. Welcome to this episode of Conversations Between Glo and God. I'm Glo. Let me share my screen with you because I'm using a slide presentation during this episode. The name of this episode is The Goal is Not to Be Overwhelmed nor Underwhelmed, just whelmed. Sometimes when we are feeling, well, when I'm feeling overwhelmed, when it is just too much stimulation. I have just had too much with all the stuff that's going on in the world right now, all the stuff that's going on in our nation. Sometimes I'm like, I am not looking at one television show, one newscast. I am not turning on the internet. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to just listen to music. I'm going to take a nap. All of those things can happen when I'm feeling underwhelmed or overwhelmed. Either way, I can be frozen. Either way, I can shut down. I can disconnect from myself or the things that are going on. And sometimes that's the wise thing to do. But if I stay like that, then I'm missing my life. I have given that thing, that experience that I'm having, so much power that I feel powerless, that I feel hopeless. I have been absorbed by that thing. So, what we want to do is not be overwhelmed nor underwhelmed, but just whelmed. When I think about the feelings that I have when I'm being overwhelmed or underwhelmed, I think about what I've heard people say many times. To figure out what's going on, you just have to peel back the onion. How many of y'all have heard that? Yeah, peeling back the onion. Look, I like onion, okay? Some onions and gravy. Oh, Lord have mercy. A good onion soup. Oh, my goodness. And so, my favorite onion for a sandwich or on a salad or something is the red onion. But you know what? There are a whole bunch of different kinds of onion stuff out here, from scallions to shallots to, it depends, sometimes a yellow onion is what I need. That's really good for onion soup, French onion soup. Um, if I'm wanting raw onion, grilled onion, onion is delicious, but it's simple. It's a simple vegetable because what you can do is peel back that one layer of that onion, one layer at a time. But you know what? I'm way too um, delicious and more complex than that. I'm more like the garlic bulb. Mhm. Because there are many parts to me. Listen, I like to think of my life and the experiences that I have in it. We are more like, instead of peeling back the onion, I have to look at the complexity of the garlic. Yes, there are many different types, kinds, flavors of garlic as well. But what we have to do is remember, unlike the onion that has one bulb, so to speak, and just one part to that, the garlic in its one bulb, each bulb has many cloves. Mm. And those cloves are different sizes, Each one has a different juiciness. Some are sweeter than others. And that's why I say that's a better representation of my life and the experiences I have in it. So when we find that we are being overwhelmed or underwhelmed by the juiciness or lack thereof of a clove of our own unique garlic, here's some things God said. Look here, baby. Here's what you can do. First of all, give yourself permission, sweetie, to not deny, not see, not really examine all of the multi flavorfulness of each of your garlic cloves. All of them. Validate all of it because that is your experience. There is a blessing within each of those things when you feel overwhelmed or underwhelmed. You just have to be able to tap into them. And here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to share with you, sweetie, so that you can access those unique experiences and the goodness, the sweetness within each one. Mindset number one, remember that your capacity is variable. What you're going through, again, is not who you are. And I am with you as we are going through this together. It's not fixed. I want you to think about being, I use this a lot, Goldilocks. Goldilocks. I don't want to be overwhelmed or underwhelmed. I want to be just whelmed. I don't want to be too hot nor too cold. I want to be just right. I don't want to be too early or too late. I want to be on time. And we can do that by tapping into the wisdom of the universe. Don't want to be so over or underwhelmed that we are numb, that we totally shut down. That disconnect will cause us to miss out on the juiciness or stay with the bitterness that we are experiencing. Instead of going through it, sometimes we get stuck in it. And then mind shift number three, do an honest assessment. And I've been talking about this all the time. Some people think that because I know and have an intimate relationship with God, and because I am joyful and full of joy, even when I'm unhappy. hmm I shared with y'all before that I had cancer in my thyroid. I was not happy about that, but I was joyful and really, really happy when I could say I had it. I no longer have it. See, there is joy no matter what the experience. I just have to go on that treasure hunt to find them. Here's two things I can do to get myself out of that doldrum, to get myself out of that habit, that succubus that I'm stuck in, that feeling like I'm weighted down. One is called being micro weird, doing something, breaking up my routine, establishing a new habit. Or if it's not the total creation of a new habit, at least beginning to chip away at that habit that's there and replacing it with something that's exciting that I find the right sweetness, the right juiciness of that layer of the clove of garlic that's in my bowl. Did y'all get that? So, look at how are you defining things? This first check mark under this example, eating breakfast foods for dinner. Look, food is food, okay? If I want to have bacon and eggs at 6 p.m., so it's dinner time in some people's homes, but it's breakfast food. I get to call it whatever I'm having. So I have spoken with friends. So what you having for dinner? Bacon and eggs, pancakes, whatever. One of my favorite dinner time or lunchtime foods for breakfast is cold pizza. I can do whatever I want to do because that is my control when I feel I might have lost control or I have none. Look for that where you can find it. The second thing that I can do is celebrate now. There are two things I want to draw your attention to. Well, three actually. One, Walter Hawkins, rest his soul, wrote a song years ago that said, "Don't wait till the battle is over, shout now." In other words, don't wait till everything is in place. Celebrate those incremental victories. My boyfriend, not for real, Stephen Covey used to say, begin with the end in mind. And there is a book, the gentleman's last name is Cleary. I don't remember the first name, but the name of the book is Atomic Habits. And he talks about breaking those big things down into bite-sized pieces and not only looking at what have I check marked that I have done, but also celebrating each of those things. Train myself to look for and allow myself to experience the celebratory moments. When you have done that, and I hope you're taking screenshots of all these so what's now what things, because there are more on here. But remember that being whelmed is not about being perfect. I mean, look for the joy in learning. I have a t-shirt that I may or may not have made. But I had uh, this I had one made, and I don't know if I'll have more. And it says, I am perfect in my imperfection. What do you mean? Child, please, I'm getting ready to celebrate my life and the things that I have learned, how I can help other people. Sometimes there are going to be mistakes, but you know what? That's what the etch-a-sketch moment in my life. Turn that puppy over, shake it up, start drawing again. Being whelmed doesn't mean that I'm just going to always do what I've always done, thinking I'm going to have a different outcome, or that some what worked perfectly in position ABC is going to work perfectly for XYZ. So I have to look at those habits that no longer serve or that need to be tweaked a little bit. Remember that your joy, there's fuel in your joy. So don't withhold yourself from yourself. When you are remembering who you are and enjoying the delicious complexities of each of your garlic cloves, that is for each of your garlic bowls. That's when you're swimming in the waters of whelmment. That's it. That's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoy this. Take something from it, share it with others. See you next time.